How you doing? I'm doing great. It's the weekend. It's Saturday. And we all love weekends, don't we? We don't have to go to work. Apart from those people who work at weekends and me, who's doing filming on a Saturday. That shot that in the backside, didn't it? Anyway, straight into the meat and potatoes. Right, so, look, Dylan Mortensen. We don't seem to be able to let this girl go. Is it fair? Debatable. At the end of the day, in order to convict Brian Kohberger, we don't have to, but sometimes we're the only ones that do. Isn't that the truth? But every stone should be unturned. That's just the way it is. Now, whether the people who need to will do, that's a different matter. But it should be done. So what would we find if we started unturning stones around Dylan Mortensen truly? We've seen this recent information that has come out that kind of contradicts the original affidavit or Alpha David. I'm trying to get the hang of it. Contradicts it entirely. In one hand, you're saying, look, I was scared. I was frozen in fear. I saw this monster. I'd heard these weird noises. It made me come out of my room to look. And people have said, that's why, bless her cotton socks, she wasn't able to call 911 because she was frozen with fear. She'd come face to face with a monster. She saw his eyebrows and everything. And a lot of people then sort of understood where she was coming from. But then we have this other information that comes out. Now, I did yesterday a video that supposedly was one of her friend's boyfriend. Now, look, some people have turned around and said, look, they've got students who go around here and that person could have been any of them. Some people have said that he slowed his voice down to try and hide who he was, etc., etc. I am still not buying it 100%, but I do have to question some of the information contained within it because some of that information has been said elsewhere as well regarding the fact that Dylan had in fact shouted up, shut the fuck up, so on and so forth. And when you pair those elements together with that story that she didn't really see someone, she had been interviewed by law enforcement and they had almost tried to, usher her in a specific direction and she just rolled with it. We know that someone on this platform is a king at it. If you go at someone for long enough, you can make them say or do whatever you want. Is it called the Reed method? And look, it can happen, especially if you are a young person who you are genuinely scared of what could happen. I can just imagine being in that room and being told, how does it look? You're the only person who survived. How do we know that you're not involved? Is this the person? This is the person, isn't it? And you're not involved. Do you know what I mean? I can see it. I can see it now. When law enforcement have a bone and they want it, they're going to do anything to keep hold of it. The original affidavit was indeed a legal binding document. And within that initial document, it clearly stated that she came face to face. We're going to come back to this point specifically. Face to face with this guy. She described what he was wearing, the fact his face was covered to a degree, but she could see bushy eyebrows. This mugshot. Look at this picture, this photograph. Bushy eyebrows. Did he have bushy eyebrows? Are you sure? You saw his eyes? Do you know what I mean? And the height of him and everything. What height he was. It's dark. It's pitch black. Height. Build. He's wearing friggin' black. And he's in the dark. How can you tell? Could you tell the build of someone in the darkness? And we're saying that it was that dark that he didn't see her. Do you know what I mean? Something don't sit right. And also this. So I'm thinking to myself, so who was first? What are we saying are the order of how things happened in this house? We know the time frame was only very, very narrow. So if he comes into the sliding door, into the kitchen, works his way round the living room, down past the bathroom, and then attacks Ethan and Xana downstairs, then he comes back out. He then goes upstairs and the two girls upstairs. So then how did she see his face leaving? Because he'd have been coming down the stairs? Because Dylan's room is at the bottom of the stairs. So was he on the stairs when she saw him? Or did he indeed do what he did upstairs? Come down, go through, back past the bathroom, and then did she see him coming that way round? Something just doesn't sit right. Just doesn't sit right. Someone's lying. Someone's lying, and I have a feeling that it's either Dylan is lying or law enforcement are lying. What is more plausible? That we have a girl within a house who thought this was just a party. The house was used to things going on, so she literally thought nothing of it. She heard noise, she heard commotion, and she just went to sleep. She didn't even come out of her door to check, because that's when things start falling apart. Because you think, well, if you're used to the noise, you're used to everything going on, why would you even come out? You know, why on this specific night would you even come out and tell people to shut the fuck up? If you're used to parties, every weekend you would come out and shout at people? Is that just your go-to thing that you would... But even then, surely you would know that that would be fruitless. I just don't buy it. I more buy that there was no witnesses in that house. Whether Bethany was there or she weren't there, or she was there and she slept through it, and same with Dylan. She was there, she slept through it, and there was no witness at all. And law enforcement fabricated a witness to place him there. I just don't know. I just don't know. If she saw him there, this does not make sense. And you can't just turn around and say, after what's already been said about this party situation, saying that you saw someone and you just thought that they were a person in the party, because then there's a lot more questions. That 8 hours just doesn't make sense. People have quite rightly said, what, she just didn't go to the loo? She'd been out, she'd been drinking, she'd been eating, whatever. And she'd been in the house from 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and she hadn't gone to the loo until midday the next day. Sheesh. I wish I could go the night without going to the toilet. Memories. I'll catch you all in the next one.